All right, now Americans are having fewer kids, and you'll understand why in a second. According to a survey released by the New York Times, 3 of the top 4 reasons that people are having fewer children: money. 64% say that childcare too expensive. 49% say they're worried about the economy, and 44% say that they simply can't afford more children. Now, this shows economic insecurities and financial concerns are causing many young Americans to skip or delay having kids. In fact, the U.S. fertility rate is at a record low for the 2nd consecutive year, according to recent reports. So what do you do about it? When we've got money questions or concerns, you bring in the money guy, Dan Ricardo. We need some saving tips. We need something.
Yeah, we're not even replacing ourselves, right? The replacement rate, fertility rate, is below the replacement rate. So we're not even having enough kids to replace ourselves because, as you said, Bill, it's crazy expensive, right?
That's crazy.
Yeah. $223,000 is the average to raise a child, and that doesn't include college. Right?
That's one child.
That's one child, doesn't include college. So it is an expensive thing. Look, every young parent knows it's expensive. But having said that, kids are great, right? So kids are great. I've got 4 of them, which means I have no money and no hair. So, but let's talk about ways that we can cut that expense down, that child care expense. Because the child care expense really is something that young parents are very daunted by, right?
Okay. All right,
first up, while you're still, in your earnings years, you're saving, you're not having kids yet, now's the time to really squirrel away that money. Tap up your 401k, your emergency fund, because before you have kids, do it now, because once you have them, it becomes a lot harder. So build that little cushion before you have those kids, all right?
All right.
Next up, there are lower cost alternatives, but you have to be a good shopper. For example, nonprofits, the YMCA, churches.
I thought you meant then kids.
They all provide lower cost alternatives for child care, but Bill, you got to shop around.
Okay.
Right?
Yeah.
So don't be shy. Think like a shopper when it comes to child care. Think about an alternative career. Now, listen, you went to college, you went to grad school, you're on this great career trajectory, but sometimes it makes sense to be a little bit more flexible, maybe work from home, right? Maybe work a different schedule than your spouse so that you can bounce child care responsibilities back and forth a little bit. If you get creative, it may not be ideal, but you can save some money. And finally, their 2 biggest expenses for young couples typically are your home, and that hunk of metal in your driveway, your car. So let's focus on that. We didn't get to the kids yet. So instead of a big empty house, right, a big expensive empty house, how about a smaller house? Instead of a new Ferrari in the driveway, how about a used minivan for those kids, right? There are ways, if you're willing to do it, without changing your lifestyle too much, Bill, to save a couple of bucks.
Can we add an asterisk at the bottom that says, have them get a job?
Well, look, no question. Absolutely. All those kids should be.
How young can they start working? Can you have like a lawnmower business at like 4?
Why not, right? Just,
you can walk, push the lawnmower.
Why not? So listen, it is a good thing to have those kids bring in some money when they get a little bit older as well. But the reality is, young parents out there or young parents to be, don't be put off by the numbers. With a little bit of creativity, a little bit of sacrifice, if you want to have children, you can figure it out.
I'm upset. Like $223,000. Are these your kids?
There they are. They're my 4 best and biggest investments.
You know what I see? $1 million.
You're looking, well, no, that's a couple million because you got to throw college and grad school and medical school in there.
I gotta go.
Right? Which is why I'll be working forever. I'll be here with you until we're old and gray.
Always a pleasure.